As the international break is around the corner, Man United is going to play its last game before we go to the international break against Brentford, and you're hosting the game at Old Trafford in a way that we need to obviously win it, because the previous two consecutive games we're going to have to play at Old Trafford, we're going to have to lose them. One in the league, 1-0 loss to Crystal Palace, and in the Champions League, losing to Galatasaray by 3-2 in a game that saw Casemiro get a red card. The red card that he got in the Champions League doesn't prohibit him from obviously participating into this beautiful fixture of United hosting Brentford at the Old Trafford Stadium that capacitates 74,310 people on a match day. Though I know they can exceed to 76,000 depending on how things really go on at the club. So welcome to this channel. Smash the like button, comment and share. If at all you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. Rokan David is my name, and you can as well call me RD, and we're here to do serious business with you people, because we are really serving you, because you also invest your data, watch this channel and support. But don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Now, when you look at Manchester United, they're really having the following players away out of this game: Luke Shaw, Tyrell Malacia, Lisandro Martinez, Amad Diallo, who else? Those are the injured players. Sergio Hojlund is doubtful. He might make it into this team or not. But if at all he makes in this team, it will be good news for the club of Manchester United, because we know what exactly it means. Then the other players that are really the other player that is missing out because of non-footballing reasons, that is Jadon Sancho, out of action. It shows you that we are trying to obviously get these players back on the field, and Kobe Menu is another one who is obviously getting back into the first team. We saw him train with the first team for the very first time towards the game of Galatasaray, meaning that he's now back into group training, and it's up to the manager to tell us whether he's willing obviously to bring him on as we take on Brentford or not. But my artificial intelligence, it tells me that this boy is obviously going to return at Manchester United after the international break. He needs to give him what we call the required healing, and obviously not hurry him back, because there is no reason for him to be hurried back. If at all Amrabat was still injured, then there would have been a reason for him to be hurried back. But I think we should really unleash him after the international break to obviously see to it that he plays some good minutes for the club of Manchester United. But I won't be shocked if at all he makes it onto the bench. Now, let's go to the side of Brentford. Kevin Schked is having a groin injury. Shadon Baptiste is having a shoulder injury. Ben Mee is having a calf injury. Damsgaard is having an injury, and Josh Da Silva is having a hamstring and will not be at Frank Thomas's disposal. Frank Thomas is the manager of Brentford, while Ivan Toney has returned in action. Is training with the team of Brentford, but you know he'll obviously start doing the needful in January, not now, and he's doing action behind the doors. But remember, very many teams are really interested in signing him, and he might not kick a ball for them before even the teams coming through and cash out to sign him. But there is Neil Mape, who is returning, and Aaron Hickey. They are also back in action, obviously, to they take it to the next level. And let's start it off with what we believe the predicted starting 11 of United is going to look like before we bring you other stats that are going to hate obviously get us to where we deserve to be. Then we go to the system that Erik ten Hag is going to deploy tomorrow. I think it's going to be a 4-2-3-1. That is it. And I think it's obviously going to come in through and obviously capacitate most of the people into this action. Then we go to how they're obviously going to come in through and really line up onto the pitch. We start off with the goalkeeping situation. I'm one of those who don't believe in dropping Andre Onana, because when you drop him, his confidence levels will obviously go down, you know. So all what you have to do is get him more games, because when you look at the stats of David De Gea's first season at Man United, yet we had some good defenders like Rio Ferdinand, John Evans, Nemanja Vidic, name it, the West Browns of this world. He had 13 goals in his first 10 games, and Onana's gonna hate to concede 17, right? So I think we should just give him a benefit of doubt for the first season and let us trust him into goal, because I have nothing to do. I've seen people making claims that David De Gea should return. Guys, you shouldn't look back sometimes, or most times, but you should ask yourself, what are we doing to concede 3 goals? I know he's obviously one of the people responsible for the third goal that we got, but we should obviously ask ourselves a huge question. Is it necessary to obviously drop him and bring in Ben Dayer? I think it's not. It's not. So I go with Andre Onana in between the stitches of Manchester United. Then on the right back, obviously, I'm going to go with a player that most of you might not even have thought about, but I've been claiming for such a change to obviously give us some good balance alongside the fullback positions. But Ten Hag looks like he needs to look out through it, and I saw him really try it out in the game of Crystal Palace in the Carabao Cup, where we beat them by 3-0 when he brought Lindelof onto the left back. And I said, why could he play him as a left back, yet Lindelof is right-footed, yet Dalot could obviously come in through and get the job done and dusted. So I'm going with Victor Lindelof onto the right side of the central defense. That is it. I'm going with Victor Lindelof to play into that position as a right back for Manchester United. Then left back, I'm going with Diego Dalot. I'm going with Diego Dalot to play into that left back position of Manchester United versus Brentford, because I know what he brings on the field of play. If at all he's being played as a left back, although he's right-footed, he'll obviously do the overlap very well and obviously surge what we call the final third of the opponent, and can obviously come in through with a perfect cross. He can obviously come in through with some perfect set of skills, and it's easy for him to play as an inverted right back, and I think can do it better than Amrabat and spare Amrabat for a different role altogether. Now in the central defense, on the right side of the central defense, I go with Rafael Varane. Into that position to play there, as you see him there, right side of the central defense. And on the left side, I'm going with John Evans. That is it. Do you know why I'm going with John Evans? It's simple. That when you look at Brentford, all what he used is the pace of Mbeumo. And Da Silva is really doubtful, but if at all Da Silva is out, you understand that they're going to use Wissa. So Wissa and Mbeumo are really fast central defenders. When you're having Rafael Varane, you obviously understand that you're having a pacey player that can obviously come in through and close down them. And one will say, why not Harry Maguire? I cannot really field Harry Maguire in this kind of game because he doesn't have the pace, and you're going to play a high line, meaning that there's going to be a very huge space. There's going to be a very huge space between our goal line and our 18 yards box area and the center half, meaning that you need to get in a player who can obviously get you to where you deserve to be. And I wouldn't like to see Harry Maguire played in such a game, but never say never, anything can happen. But I would like to see a back four that is having Lindelof and Dalot full back positions. That is it. Or even you can get in Scott McTominay to play as a right back for the club of Manchester United and get Lindelof to play in the central defense with Varane to obviously give us perfect balance into that midfield. Then in the double pivot, I'm having Casemiro. Obviously, you know why he's there. He's one of the best central midfielders in the world, and the previous 3-4 games, he has been one of those that we're going to have to put in a shift that is going to have to obviously give us more hope as a club of Manchester United. Then, alongside who? To me, I think it should be alongside Sofiane Amrabat. Now, even if you play who on the left back or who on the right back position, if we are having that double pivot, it really shields the back four to the required levels, because these two players are going to get us performances that are really going to provide a shield for the back four. I don't know whether Erik ten Hag thinks this. I don't know whether it really crosses his mind, but this is one of the avenues they should obviously try to obviously take us to the next level. And by the way, even when we were we were 1-1 at Old Trafford and 1-0 down at Old Trafford against Crystal Palace and 1-1 against Galatasaray, I thought that Ten Hag was obviously going to bring in another player to play on the right back, then switch Dalot onto the left back, and see Sofian Amrabat and Casemiro playing that midfield, because all what we needed was, let's kill off this space in the midfield by playing a double pivot that is obviously going to be tenacious and skilled. That is it. So Erik ten Hag didn't do it. I think he tested it in the game of Crystal Palace when he won them by 3-0 for like 20 minutes, worked out well, and he needs to obviously go ahead and see it happen. You know, I know he likes Mason Mount, but he should improvise elsewhere for Mason Mount to play. But let's not obviously see to it that he sacrifices Sofian Amrabat as a left back, because that experiment has not worked out. It has costed us 2 games, because in the game of Crystal Palace we concede because of that stupid foul that he makes towards the touchline. Then in the game of the 2 goals we conceded, the last 2, the second and third goal we conceded in the game of Galatasaray, it's because of Sofian Amrabat, and because he's being played out of position. You wouldn't see Amrabat costing us such goals if at all is being played in the double pivot or in the central midfield alongside Casemiro. So that is something that Erik ten Hag should know, that needs to be rectified as soon as possible, because if he doesn't, we are going to lose more games. Brentford has come here, but they've never gone ahead, I think, to win us at Old Trafford. We've gone ahead to beat them at Old Trafford, and I think away from home. That is it. Last season, they beat Erik ten Hag at their stadium, Community Stadium, by 4-0. When they came at Old Trafford, we won that game by 1-0, though it was really close. It was just fine margins on the day. Now, the central attacking midfield, I don't want to see Mason Mount here. Play Bruno Fernandes into his best position, where he offers the best service, because one will say Bruno should be dropped, but I think I want to see how Bruno performs when he's having a double pivot of Casemiro and Amrabat playing behind him, right? Then on the right attacking side of the midfield, I don't think Antony is ready to get in some huge minutes. I think let's do Mason Mount that side. Let's play Mason Mount that, and he tried Mason Mount in the right wing, you know, before he took him off and brought on, was it Antony? Yeah, it was Antony. So I think he tried it out, and he now thinks that it can obviously work out well for us. Get Mason Mount onto the right attacking side of the midfield and see how things really pan out. Then on the left, obviously Marcus Rashford, he's going to come in through and do the job for the club of Manchester United. And who's leading the line? The brace holder, the one of the players was going to have to break the record of Erling Haaland, because he's the only player at the age of 20 that's going to have to score 3 goals in his first Champions League 2 games. And we wait and see whether against Copenhagen, I think on the 24th or 25th of October, he obviously adds more, and you obviously understand that it's obviously going to be on the scorch. That is Rasmus Hojlund. And then who is leading the line? It's obviously going to be Rasmus Hojlund for the club of Manchester United. That's the predicted starting 11 of Manchester United that I believe could win us this game of football. We need that full back balance, and we need that double pivot. If that is catered for by Erik ten Hag, then I think we can obviously annihilate Brentford at the stadium of Old Trafford. That is on a Saturday. But there are certain things you need to obviously know about this beautiful fixture. And before I go into those facts that I'm going to read for you from Google, my prediction, 2-1. I think the best thing to do is to get this win. You know, when we won 2 consecutive games against Burnley and Crystal Palace, there was no media house reporting that the dressing room was toxic. That is it. Now, after losing to Galatasaray, they come out and put out a story that the dressing room is toxic. And you wouldn't like this club and Erik ten Hag to have some 2 long weeks of toxicity being published into the media, right? All you have to do is simple. Get this win, you know, return, go to, I think we're going to be playing Sheffield, get a win away from Sheffield, and win against Copenhagen, and see to it that we get it where we deserve to be as the club of Manchester United. Now let's go to the stats. Manchester United have won 3 of their 4 Premier League meetings with Brentford, beating them in both home games without conceding. 3-0 in 2021-2022 and 1-0 in 2022-2023. That it is. So we've gone ahead to win them, by the way. And even away from home in the season that saw Ralf Rangnick epitomize it, we won, I think, by 3-0. Then Brentford have lost their last 5 away games against Manchester United in all competitions. The run that spans between 1939 and 2023. Their last win there was in February 1937 in a 3-1 victory. Now, one will say Ten Hag is going to hate, obviously, break very many records of Manchester United that there is a negative way, but I think we should obviously understand exactly what the manager is going in through. That is not something easy for him. Then, thirdly, Manchester United have lost back-to-back home Premier League games, as many defeats as their previous 34 at Old Trafford, 25 wins and 7 losses. They've not lost 3 on the bounce on home soil in the league competition since 1979. And if at all we lose, it's really going to be very ridiculous for the club of Manchester United. 3 home losses consecutively. We should fight for the badge and see to it that we get ourselves to the levels we deserve to be. Then, having lost each of their first 4 Premier League games against the 2 Manchester United clubs combined, Brentford have since won 3 of their 4 league matches against the 2. And lastly, Man United have lost all 3 of their Premier League games against London-based clubs this season. We lost to Tottenham, we lost to Crystal Palace. They've not lost 4 consecutive league matches against such opposition since 1986. While they last lost as many as 4 league games in a single season against sides from the capital in 2006, 2007. That is it. So, the London sides, and we've been playing away from home. Arsenal, you understand how it happened. Arsenal beat us by 3-1. Spurs beat us by 2-0. But it was just fine margins. We had chances and never killed them off. For the game of Arsenal, it was a late showdown where Arsenal went ahead and scored 2 goals in the added 7 minutes of the full 90. So, I anticipate that we're obviously going to win this game by 2-1. I cannot guarantee you to keep a clean sheet. That is it. Keeping a clean sheet is going to be one of the hard things to find because we are really hard to get it. But Brentford are really having 7 points. They've gone ahead to really win 1 game and obviously register for draws. They don't score very many goals, but it's a team that can obviously hit you on the break and obviously give you a busy day. As we are going to play with the high line, we need to obviously observe that high line and we need to obviously capitalize and really score our chances. That is it. That's exactly what you're supposed to be doing as a club of Manchester United on the night. For Marcus Rashford, he's no longer selfish. I saw him in that game. He created 1 goal. And every time reaching those positions, he first thought of obviously getting an assist before he obviously gets in goals. That is it. So guys, your predictions are welcome in the comment section below. Rokan David remains my name. I sign out for now. See you later. And may the living to God bless you abundantly. Barakallahu fikum to the Muslims and Juma Karim. We out.